morning. I'm Elaine Compart from West Flamborough, and I'm one of the members of the Mission Committee. So on behalf of the Mission Committee tonight, the Mission Committee approved in March, that was then approved by Hamilton Presbytery at the March meeting, the request from St. Andrews Hagersville to make a donation to the Native Horizons Treatment Center. We are pleased to be able to make this presentation this evening and to hear about the work the center is doing. Janice Doyle will introduce our speakers further.
It is a privilege and an honor to introduce, actually, more than colleagues, friends. I first became involved with the Native Horizons Treatment Center in New Credit more than 2 decades ago. Through my music business, as I would go down and I would sing karaoke and share karaoke with the graduating residents before they would complete their programs and head back into their lives. And so that's how I first became acquainted with this program. And then I discovered that my friend Steve is involved with it as well. I'm not sure how long you've been as chairman of the board, because I see him all over the place in other areas. Many of you know that this particular program is near and dear to my heart in so many ways. And so it is a privilege and an honor to ask Wanda Smith and Cease Salt to come forward and please share what you do at the Native Horizons Treatment Center and how you impact the lives of so many for so many years. So Wanda Smith and Cease Salt, everybody. Wanda Smith. Here from Caledonia as well, so I wasn't ignoring all my family.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I call it's an honor and a pleasure to be here this evening. And where to start? I've known Janice for many moons, sang with her, and it's really been a pleasure. And to be here. I'm from the Mississauga and Credit First Nation. I've sat on council on our First Nation for 14 years. I retired in 2014. And it's, as I look back over where we touched on being neighbors, that really hit a point with me. Going back, as I look back over in Caledonia, Hayersville, Six Nations, and me and Wanda, we've known each other for many moons. Back then she was working at the, it was called the Native Peoples Alcohol and Drug Center on the First Nation. And I started there working as a Native youth worker, youth counselor. It was the First Nation come in for counseling. It was an out where they come in for counseling as the youth worker. Wanda was hired as the female youth worker. That's how we started back in the 70s. And one day she called me. You know, the good book says, without a vision, the people perish. That's in the word. Without a vision, the people perish. She took me over to her house one day. She said, I want to show you something. She took me down into the basement. And on the wall, she had this draft of a building. She said, this is my vision, this is my dream, for an inpatient treatment program for our Aboriginal people. Back in the 70s, I said, good luck. You know, but that was her dream, that was her vision. And lo and behold, it come to fruition. So we've known each other for quite a while. I sat on the board of directors. I'm the chair of the board of directors, and Wanda's the director. And it's affiliated with 6 board members from 6 different nations, First Nations. That's part of the board, and I'm the board chair. And we have meetings, quarterly meetings, 4 times a year, and if there's any special meetings, emergency meetings that come in, then we'll address it that way as well. But it's been rewarding, it's been a struggle, and but it was always her vision and it was her dream. And I told her she can't retire. Because if she retires, they're going to have to hire 3 people to do her job. She deals with the government, she deals with the funding, and back in 2018, the center burned to the ground. It burned to the ground. It was Christmas, but luckily, it's a 6-week program, and the clients, we usually let them go on a Friday, but this, for some reason, we let them go on a Thursday, and that night it burned down. And you know, it's like what's the bird the phoenix burns to ashes, then it comes alive. In a nutshell, it was devastating, but Wanda said we can rebuild. I'll just give it to you. We went to Ottawa, we met with the governments, the bodies, and we wanted 5.3 million, and we stuck to our guns. They wanted us to come down, can you get by with 3 point? I said, no, we said, no, we stuck there, no, we said, we want 5 point, and we got it. We got it, and the center has been rebuilt now. It's a 15-bed inpatient program. And it's been rewarding, but as I stated, it's always been Wanda's vision. And so no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to her, and she's going to just elaborate a little more on it. And I'll interject where I can. As the board chair.
Thank you, Steve. It was not just my vision. It was a lot of people's vision. Initially, there were 16 First Nations in Southern Ontario that were involved in the needs assessment to determine that we needed a facility in this area. The late Chief Marisa Forum was our first boss, my first boss, working with the Native People Center, and later became Chief of New Credit and spearheaded the steering committee for the construction of the treatment center. It has been my baby. I think I was the 2nd ED, the executive director for the program, starting in 1987. I was 3. But yeah, it's near and dear to my heart, and one of the things that I don't know why, and I think it's divine intervention or it's just intuition, it's just a knowing that our first group of staff, we hired January of 1989, and within a week, my staff were falling apart, sharing about their lives and themselves, really touched them. And Janice, in your message today, you talked about feelings. And I realized that we have to talk about those feelings because, as you know, as Native people, we come from cultures of trauma. I don't care if you grew up in a pristine home, our communities are riddled with trauma. So we have to take care of our staff and have them work on their own issues so that they can be the best for the client. It was a struggle. I faced a lot of pushback from the community, personally and professionally. But I knew that we had to take care of our staff first. And we still do this to this day. And thank goodness for the board who supports our staff in doing their own healing so that we can do the best job for our clients. Since January of 1990, we have just started our 171st 6-week program. Like she said, 15 beds, 6-week program. We don't always have 15, right, but the ones that come in do. And our program is geared towards helping them identify those feelings and those traumas and releasing them. A lot of us carry shame and guilt and abandonment and fear that isn't ours. That's been placed on us by the things that have happened to us. And so learning how to let that go, deal with it, and leave it. And I really think that the fire that we experienced, he's mentioned that we let clients go a day early because it was Christmas and they had to travel far. And we didn't want them to be stuck in towns and communities, you know, waiting for buses or planes or whatever to go home. We let them early, that fire happened. And I really believe that because of all the pain and hurt that was left at that building for 25 years up until that point, that was the Creator smudging our land and our building. And as I walked around the building and looking at the fire, I was in shock, obviously, but grateful that we had a place where people could come and do their healing and let that pain and sorrow go. Native Horizons developed programs to help us do that, and we do it through inner child work. And when a little child needs comforting, oftentimes they have a little teddy bear. So we do our deep work in what we call our teddy bear rooms, and so that's what Native Horizons is known for. And the church and others have donated numbers of teddy bears for our clients. That's what we gift them with when they leave, so that they can continue to nurture themselves and learn how to nurture each other. We talked about being neighbors, but first we have to be a neighbor to ourselves. We have to be a neighbor to that little boy or that little girl within us, and that's what we're teaching our clients. That's what we encourage our staff to do. So we're very humbled to be able to do this work. I am anyway. It's kept me sane for most days.
And the clients come from all over southern and northern Ontario.
All
The
over
clients.
Ontario, Canada, and even in the States. And we have
Some of them coming to the States, that's right, yeah. 6-week program.
a number of non-native clients as well. And we do specialty programs too, so grief and loss, sexual violence.
And outpatient.
Outpatient, we do have
Yeah.
outpatient.
programs.
Yeah, the outpatient program supports clients once they go home. We also have recently secured a land-based program that does on-the-land programs with clients and communities, and a lot of our cultural teachings and our cultural ways. So, we're very honored to do that.
And the client just can't come and just expect to go in. They gotta be referred. Somebody's gotta refer them, either a counselor or a minister.
Yeah.
Because once they're done the program, we don't wanna just send them back. They gotta have something in place for when they do go home, and all the blocks in place that they won't have to slip. That's the aftermath. So it's good. Thank you so much. That's it. Thank you, Janice. Thank you.
So this isn't just near and dear to my heart. The fine folks at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Hagersville, they were also very aware of the Native Horizons Treatment Center, and Cease and his band actually have traveled and brought music and healing in that way. And as they mentioned, the clients that come to Native Horizons are not just from our neighbor reserve. They're from all over Ontario and beyond. So they are being neighborly in so many more ways as well. So we've invited you here tonight. I was hoping you'd be able to share what you do there. I know, do you still give tours?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We went to the open house when the building was rebuilt. They have this incredible room you go in, it's a teddy bear room, but that circular room, the sound room where you stand right in the center and just see something. It's just an amazing experience in there. So if you get a chance, you can call. You can't just show up. It is a locked facility. Even when I drop off teddy bears and donations, I have to sign in, and you're not always there, but that's okay. But we have tonight a legacy of love on behalf of the St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, who's closed their congregation and left funds to our presbytery. So this is a legacy of love from the presbytery, gifted to you at the Native Horizons Treatment Center to help you continue helping others and sharing that neighborly love and the love of our Creator in so many ways. So thank you for all that you do and all that you will continue to do. And if you have any questions, you can reach out or you can check them out online, nhpc.ca. Real easy to remember, nhpc.ca. And there's a list of their programs and contact information as well. They also do, you do some fundraising every 6 weeks with the dinners and, you know, it was actually Indian tacos. And they've had a strawberry social and the lasagna dinners as well. They're doing all kinds of great things for all kinds of numbers.
Someone can get a phone, a couple of pictures of this.
Has anybody got their phone and take a picture so I can present this? I know I'm recording it for Ann, I really wanted to be here tonight.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. So,
I gotta work it. Come on, honey, come on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, look at it.
Thank you very much.
Cute. Let's get up and get it. We're humbled by this, let me tell you. Wait till I straighten my glass eye. But there you go.
1, 2, 3. I'll take another one in case somebody
Okay.
gets right. 1, keep your eyes open, smile. 2, 3. Okay, anything else you'd like to do?
Good. Thank you so much.